Hello and welcome to MRL Round 2 here in Season 11, Tier 4. This week we are here at Austria for the second round of our Tier 4 Championship. We have a 4.3 kilometer circuit with 3 consecutive DRS zones, which will help for a lot of great racing and a lot of chaos as well, I suspect. I am here today with a dream of a commentator, my good friend Dreamzz. How are you doing today?
Good. Just watched the end of a crazy Tier 5 race, so I'm hoping we get some of that same here. Austria is great, and league racing. Annoying if you're the one leading, but you know it's good to commentate on.
It definitely is. It always brings up a lot of action. And quali has just started. We've just got a few people coming out of the pits, and I see that the camera still hasn't been fixed. Okay, cool.
Get that? Yes. Okay. There we go.
Okay.
So there we go.
There we go. Now it's on, and if I click into the game, it disappears again. Okay, great. How do I fix this?
Oh, while he's getting that fixed, I can kind of commentate. We have a lot of action on track, a bunch of outlaps. I think Knight in the McLaren reserve is the first one to take the track on a hot lap. Nope, Knight is not a reserve. I just don't remember him being there last week. But yeah, first one on a lap here. DRS down to turn 4, not using a battery down here. You actually do not gain that much battery on a hot lap here, so you got to be wary of that. Not use too much ERS, even though it may seem like you do gain a lot back. You actually don't. So using it out of exits down to turn. This is 6. A little bit of a lift down to turn 7, which is a super fast corner on this game, but not a lot of braking there. Purposely in the sector, as he's the only one doing a lap. Down to the 2 fastest corners on the track. Turn 9, I'm pretty flat out. Turn 10, little brake, flat out as soon as you can. Pushing the exit, there's going to be a lot of track limits there for sure. And Knight sets a 105.1 benchmark for Tier 4. I don't know who's next on a lap. Not Jay Lowry. Is it a Kick Sauber? Not JT. Newbie the next lap, invalidated. You're going to see a ton of invalidations. And then we have the purple Red Bulls. Come out on a outlap. We have a lot of outlaps going on.
I'm currently on board with newbies just gone through turn 1. I don't know what's happening with your camera. Sometimes it switches on, sometimes it switches off for me.
Well, Jim was the next lap. He puts down the newest benchmark. It's going to be JBTV Drippin' now. 104.7. Now we have a 104.3 from Golden Drift. It's a great lap from him compared to the rest of the field. JBTC 07 matching that from Golden Drift. Got so many laps going on right now. Cypher just starting a lap. We have the other half of Crank is finishing his lap, or just starting one, I think. Just starting a lap, doing 2 outlaps. You will see a lot of... Can I get a haircut cam? Yeah, we scoot up. I showed it. Let's see if we can get one where my camera's on. Okay,
I think it should stay on.
Keeps winking. Newbie with a 104.1 did 2 outlaps, burned off some fuel, and put down a pretty decent banker. Oh, it's on. Okay, cool. I'll tell my barber. Yeah, things are pretty close besides for a newbie. 2/10 ahead of the rest of the field, which is a great lap. 104. I think do we see a 103? I don't know. Maybe. It's a tougher track on this game, I think. There's a lot more speed that you can carry in qualifying that if you just kind of push the limits see what you can do. You can carry so much more speed, take some of the curbs that you used to not be able to, and some of the traction is a bit easier in certain corners, but it's a bit quicker as it feels. And then we have, I think we had a pretty competitive grid. I think the favorite on pure pace might be Angry Shadow from tier 5. There's been a lot of talk about him not being in tier 5s. I know he shouldn't be, but yeah, he sets a purple first sector on his first lap, locks up into turn 3 though, keeps it in 4th gear, which is going to be a mistake on traction, not going to get the most power out of the corner. Going to dump it down a bit, heading down to turn 4, a big braking zone, big stop, downhill braking, brake late, touch the inside curb. Perfect traction on the exit. A little bit of overtaking, give him some extra juice out of the corner, down through turn 6, a little bit of a lift, a little bit of a brake for him. Full throttle as soon as you can, gets a little bit of a slide. Same thing with 7, lift into the corner. You can do that corner flat out, but you can also spin pretty easily doing it flat out. And down to turn 9, the fastest corner on the circuit, downhill, flat out, completely pinned for Shadow there. One dink of the brakes, flat out again, and he's going to be a 103.7, I guess. Oh no, 104.3. So a little slow there. He had a purple first sector, but I'm guessing that big lockup into turn 3 cost him quite a bit of time. We'll see if he can get it correct through the next lap. And the controller doesn't. That's funny. Some people coming into the pits. We have a lot of people on pits. Still quite a bit of action on track. Is my Discord working? Going good?
I think it's all correct now. I haven't seen your camera disappear yet again. Anyway, we are coming across the line with Bouncy, who looks to be setting a low 4, taking him the front row. Just behind Newbie, within a 10th. 3 drivers within a 10th.
Proved 8/10. It's a really close field.
We now jump on board with Pete in the McLaren, coming through to sector 3. Didn't look like the best of sector times at the end of sector 2, but we'll see what his time will be coming across the line as he heads into these last 2 corners. Really loose with the car over the curbs there. It's not gonna be the bestest of times. It's gonna take him P6 with a 104.4.
I think we see a 103.9 as pole is what I'm gonna guess. Though you could, I mean, this track is so tough to get right, and then the times are always so close. You gain a 10th and you go from 8th to 4th. So it's gonna be tight, it's gonna be close. It's gonna be about how much pressure you can take, how you can deliver that final qualifying lap. I think we'll see a lot of people doing 3 runs on soft tires. Soft tires are not as good of a race tire at all as they were on last year's game, so you're going to see a lot more people actually fulfilling all 3 of their runs on the soft tire.
Yeah, the soft tires, they do die out very, very quickly here.
Yeah, I think they lose their pace after about 2-3 laps. Yeah, I don't know who to watch. Because honestly, I think anyone could go to pole. We've got a few people on laps. I don't think John does work. He just finished a lap. We've got Golden Drift, who just started a lap.
I'm currently on board with Testarossa, who is just marginally up. Only 2300s, or 23,000s, I should say. Coming across the line in a couple of moments' time, and I think he's diving it back into the pits. Yeah, he is.
Putting it back into the pits. Not happy with the lap, not happy with the improvement. Yeah, the 2300s, excuse me, would only put him into P14, right where he is already. So yeah, probably a good, smart call for him to go in pit. They put on some fresh tires, refuel, go from there.
Yeah, MRK just started his lap, just came through the first sector. Half a 10th up, not too much of a gain in sector 1, but here in sector 2 is where you can gain most of your time. where it's really easy to gain time but also to lose time, especially here in these two fast left-handers. You really have to be committed through there. And MRK has lost a little bit of time. Still slightly up on his delta, but not by a lot, and he might actually pit as well. No, he is. Oh yeah, he is. That is a weird way to come into the pits.
A great line to the pits. Hopefully he doesn't do that in the race, because that would be tragic. There were definitely, I think we may see an incident with that in the race. That pit line is incredibly dangerous, and if you don't get it right, you can really spill out and cause incidents. JTB Drippin was 2/10 up, but he made a big mistake in turn 6. Turn 6, you do not want to touch that inside curb. It will spin you pretty instantly. I don't know why, but it does. So it's not a fun curb. Most of these curbs are very car friendly. You can mount them, ride them, however you want to, take them. But turn 9, the inside, if you don't commit all the way, if you kind of half commit on that curb, it'll spin you, and turn 6 will instantly spin you no matter what you do. So.
Yeah, we are currently on board with Newbie, who is a 10th up on his time. He is looking to improve his position at the front of the field, to improve that pole position. And maybe just even solidify it already. Coming across the line for a 1:39. Almost a 2/10 improvement. That could actually already seal the deal, as it's going to be very hard for these drivers to improve by much more than 3/10 in Bouncy's case.
The Alpines, P2 and P3 is a big showing from them, but they are both kind of known to be those high quality. They've also did a time that's 13 thousandths apart. They're known to be good qualifiers. It's just, can they translate it to the race? I think they're a dangerous lineup if they're on their day and they get things right, but I don't know about the whole getting things right part for them in race. I know they're very quick drivers.
I just hope they do better than the Alpines in the race today.
Yeah, I mean, I think they should. They clearly have the pace too, but it's going to be a tight field. So the racecraft is going to be, and the race pace is going to be the most important thing. Not qualifying 3 DRS zones makes it incredibly difficult to even break DRS. So it's going to be about race pace, race management, how you can manage the battery, stay clean when there's plenty of cars around you. So yeah, but qualifying is the biggest show, as Fox gets kind of loose through turn 9, through turn 10, gonna plant. He goes wide. He goes very wide and validates the next lap. He improved a 10th, which would have put him, into P6. So he only improved a 10th, very minimal improvement, but still would have jumped 4 places if he not invalidated in the final corner.
I think I'm gonna stay on board with Bounty here because he's on his out lap, and he is gonna have to push his absolute hardest to try and get this pole position.
Bounty's giving himself a buffer. I don't know if you can see it on your stream, but he's got about, let's say, 6 laps of fuel on board. So he's got the buffer to, if he makes a mistake.
Whoa, actually goes very wide coming onto his flying lap. Down here in the turn 1. Actually quite a tricky exit. It's very easy to spin the car on the exit there with the track just coming up, going up on the track. Then it's just all full throttle down to around 100 meters before you brake. He's just slightly down on his time. Really mounts the curb on the inside there at turn 3. Doesn't unsettle the car.
Got a fantastic exit out of turn 3. Although he backed off. Don't know why. But, as I said, he gives himself plenty of a buffer. He had a bunch of fuel on board. So he can burn that off, go again, save some battery. Mr. Pete coming to the line, up a 1/10.5, which would put him onto the front row if he keeps improving. And he loses time in the 3rd sector. He improved marginally, incredibly marginally, only 0.08 of a second, kept him in P6, solidified that P6. So there's a bit of a gap between P6 and P7 now. It's about a tenth and a bit. So you got to find a little bit more time if you're lower there. But I mean, still 2/10 for Lowry, for Fox can put you and propel you up into the top 5. We're going to see some people coming out on the pits. We may see some accidental toes too. People on outlaps or teammates giving each other toes. That could be a big playing factor. Toes, giving your teammate a toe is really easy here with back-to-back DRS straights, and they're long straights and they're straight. So really easy to give a toe, and accidental toes can happen too all the time with the amount of traffic because it's such a short lap.
Yeah, toes can be huge. So somebody who doesn't need a toe though is Bouncy, because he just went almost 2/10 faster into the first sector without getting a toe. He's now coming through the end of sector 2. It didn't look like the best of it, but he's still 3/10 up and he's on for pole at the moment. Just gotta make sure he's getting these final couple of corners right, really mounting the curb there through these last 2 corners, and really nearly losing the car, and that cost him
lost all of
everything.
But he's got the fuel and he can recharge, and I think he should be good. If we can get the yellow flag all the way, we'd know how long. He's got a minute 20. He's gonna be fine to recharge the battery. We're gonna have Newbie going on his next lap. He still is not using any ERS. Is he going for 2 outlaps with a minute 10? Oh, he's gonna be tight. Newbie's not gonna make the second lap.
No, he's not.
It's going to be incredibly tight, but if there's someone on a hot lap behind him, he's going to have to get out of the way. Yeah, he's doing 2 outlaps, and I think he came out too late.
Well, JBTC is marginally up through sector 2, just ahead of his teammate on track, who is 3 seconds down. So Bouncy not gonna be improving his position. How about JBTC sliding through that final corner, coming across the line for a 1-4-1, putting in P2. And Bouncy will
JBTC may be able to give him a slipstream, actually. I think he is, yeah. JB should go do it through turn. He's not going to give it a slipstream at all. JB, you could go up to turn 4 and give your teammate a slipstream, but I think he wants to stay ahead of his teammate. Yeah, the inter-teammate battle's a thing. I don't know. He might have been able to help Bouncy snatch pole. Bouncy is a 10th. Oh, never mind. Bouncy messed it up. Bouncy was a 10th down through sector 1, or up on his time, but here we go. Shadow was looking good for pole.
Just made the line. He was allowed to start his flying lap, and I think he's going to get a little toe from his teammate there, if I see that correctly on the minimap. Down to turn 4. Or I think his teammate tried it. And Bouncy spins it.
Yeah, and Golden Drift jumped up on the front row. I totally missed that. He jumped the front row, jumped both Alpines. Shadow, I think, spun through the final corner, had a nice half spin through there. Fnatic not going to improve. JTB dripping, obviously not going to improve and try to get his team in a toe. A lot of people aren't improving, or they invalidated their final runs. A lot of these are just banker laps.
Yeah. The only one that really actually improved was Newbie, who went wide, somehow didn't invalidate, and doesn't go quicker, but doesn't even have to, because he's got pole in the bag already. And that concludes qualifying.
Yeah. And one thing, that we didn't mention, J. Joe, who won last week, isn't here. So we will most likely have a new championship leader in the event that someone gets enough points to catch J. Joe. Look at some stuff here real quick.
Alright, so here we go then. We have Newbie on pole position with Golden Drift locking out the front row with him, putting in a superb lap right at the end of quali. JBTC in the Alpine in 3rd, and Bouncy in the other Alpine in 4th. Alpines locking out the 2nd row. Angry Shadow in 5th, Pete in 6th, Fnatic in 7th, 8th is JTB Drippin, 9th is Lowry, and 10th is Fox. And Bouncy states in chat that he was just pushing a little bit too hard on that final push lap, which caused him to spin. Which is very easy to do around this track.
Indeed, it is. Yeah, so Newbie and JTB Drippin had a double podium for the Kick Salpers. So Newbie on pole looking to take the championship lead here. Testarossa P4 for the Ferraris. He's a little further down, I think. Was he P11 what I last saw? Yeah, P11 for Testarossa. He's got to try and make his way through the field. Bouncy was P5 in the Alpine last week. And then we had Fox in P6, who's starting a little bit lower, I think, than what he would have wanted to. Still P10 for him. P7 is P6 today, improvement. And then Jay Lowry. So yeah, I think we may see a new title contender or championship leader. Everyone's still a title contender at this moment because it's only been one race. So
yeah. And somebody I'm gonna be keeping my eye out for is D-Master, because he's starting at the back of the race, back of the grid, with a penalty. But he said to me that he wants to get a top 5, as we have 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go for the Austrian Grand Prix. And it looks like there's been a terrible start for somebody at the back. As we all go through turn 1, it's still pretty clean. Alpines has switched position. Bouncy now ahead of JBTC. Angry Shadow side by side with the kick Sauber there of JTB Drippin, who is making a move up the inside of JBTC, gaining another place. 2 places off the start there for JTB Drippin. Really great start from him. Further back down the field, we have a couple of people moving up. MRK moving down quite a bit. I thought he was near the top 10 at some point, as we have a couple of people going sideways into turn 4, but nobody crashing just yet. Everybody still in the race, still keeping it clean. As Nubia now has a 7/10 lead over Golden Drift, and the top 4 or the top 2 kept in the same position. Bouncy got up to 3rd from the line. Really good start by him. And JTB Drippin gained 2 places. And also a great start as... Oh my god. There are a lot of cars in close proximity there. As Fnatic goes up the inside of Pete. Pete gets a better drive. And is able to reclaim 7th position. And now Fnatic is going to be under pressure from Jay Lowry. As Jay Lowry wants to dive it down the inside, and oh! Big contact there between, I think, 3 different cars: the Aston Martin, the McLaren, and the Red Bull.
Yeah, and the Ferrari. Yeah. Shadow, I sent you 2 invites. Shadow got disconnected lap 1 right after turn 4. So he's, yeah. His AI is going to be really slow, and that's what was holding up to that big gaggle of cars. Lowry sent it up the inside, totally clobbered into Shadow's AI, and caused that big pileup. And I think most people came away scot-free from it. Bouncy has a 3-second time penalty in 2 laps. That's got to be a record.
That is really quick. That is really quick.
That's impressively quick.
Yeah, it is impressive. It actually is.
They didn't
impressive.
even finish 2 laps. So that's a lap and a half.
Oh, and D-Master is the biggest winner out of the first 2 laps, gaining 8 positions, now sitting in 12th place. Really making that claim of wanting to finish
Bouncy gets a double overtake. Newbie hit the back of the V-carb, which then took out JBTC and I think his teammate. Yeah, Newbie just drove straight into the back of the V-carb of Golden Drift. And yeah, now he's gonna be on the back foot, re-overtaking Fnatic. They're gonna be side by side into turn 4. Fnatic on the outside. And she's gonna hold it. She gets great traction on the outside of turn 4, down to the inside of turn 6, through turn 5. We have a yellow flag behind. Someone spun. D-Masters. Oh my god, there's a big collision, big pileup. There's gonna be a VSC safety car. Anything? Nope. Okay. So D-Master was up about 4 positions and something happened, and now it looks like he's got some underbody, maybe some rear wing damage. His car was spinning everywhere. It looks like he's got rear wing damage.
Yeah, that car does not look nice to drive at the moment.
Yeah, he's got rear wing damage. He's going to crawl into the pits here and retire the car.
Well, so far for a top 5 finish for him.
Red Ring, yep, you could see it as soon as he started driving. I want to say goodbye to D-Master. So yeah, that was something. I was just scrolling back through the field and I just saw a Williams spinning everywhere. JTB getting past JTB passing JBTC. Okay.
That is a tongue twister and a half. JBTC trying to get back up the inside though. And actually making it. Okay.
Can we call them JBTs? Like plural.
The JBTs. I love it.
Alright. And they're gonna. Oh, did he get an illegal overtake or something? Or I think he might have just got the better run. But these two have to work together to come back to Golden Drift and Bouncy. Bouncy again with a historic run for getting a 3-second warning. Not even 2 laps completed. I've never seen anything like that. His name is the moment. I like JBTs better. That's more fun. Fnatic and Newbie. Newbie still seems to be struggling. He's down on about 10% battery. He made contact earlier. I don't know if he's got wing damage or not. Doesn't look to be anything visible, but he's struggling. He's going deep. He's locking up. I don't know if he has the pace right now. Fnatic staying behind him at P6. Golden Drift and Bouncy switching again side by side to turn 4. Is Golden Drift going to get the undercut on him? No, Bouncy's going to stay ahead. There's action everywhere, and I'm scared.
Yeah, first and second and third and fourth are basically changing position almost every single corner. It's really hard to keep up with all this action. But
yeah, and then there's a 7-car DRS train from 5th to 12th. And everyone's in groups of 2 besides for the bottom 3. That is insane. Pete, I think, had a moment. These hard tire runners are really going to start holding up Testarossa, Drunken Shamrock on the quicker tires because the hards are probably awful. And I think Pete has some damage from some earlier entanglements. And I think Testarossa is looking to make a double move into turn 1. Nope. Pete does lose 2 positions. Yaga with a 3-second time penalty, joining Bouncy for an incredibly fast 3-second time penalties.
Well, Pete is keeping his foot in. He's going side by side with a Ferrari into turn 3, but he decides to back out of it. As we have another change for the lead with Golden Drift getting past Bouncy again.
Yep, and Lowry down the inside of Fnatic into turn 4. Is the Rebel going to fight it? Yes, space is left on the outside, though. Shadow's going to look to capitalize on the overtake. He's going to go around the outside in turn 6. It's going to be a brave move. No, he's going to line up a switchback, though. Fnatic over the curb. He's going to get up the inside into turn 7. No, he's going to back out, give the space. Put Fnatic offline, though. Is he going to get a better run through turn 8? Both flat-out corners. Fnatic on hot lap. She's going to have a bit more extra power than Shadow. Turn 9, and Shadow's going, ooh, Shadow. Oh my god, that scared me. Kept it on track. Almost spun. Don't want to do that to the curbs. And yeah, but that battling between the 3 of them has Lampy dropped him a bit. So Lowry's not going to have DRS. Fnatic will. Shadow will. Shadow gets a big slide through turn 1. He's looking like he's got his car on a knife edge right now. Whew. What is going on? Everything is going on.
As Pete gets another 3-second time penalty, and Shadow almost runs into the back of Fnatic there as they all get checked up in turn 3. Luckily, no contact, it looks like. I think there's also a little bit of a visual glitch with tires locking, or everybody is just locking their tires into turn 4 there.
It's easier to lock in turn 4 than it may be into turn 3 sometimes. That downhill braking really tends to make you want to brake late, but you got to brake a little bit early since it's downhill, and it's a tough corner. I find it difficult, but I don't know about the lock. It's probably a visual glitch knowing EA.
As Newbie has now caught up to the back of JTB Drippin. This is now gonna be a 3-man fight for the last step on the podium. As Newbie gets really loose there over the curbs of turn 1, but is gaining on his teammate.
Both of the Saubers had really big moments. Both of them went deep into turn 1. clambered over the sausage curb. Shadow got past Fnatic, and then this is a tough moment on traction coming out of turn 3. He's going to get the move done on Lowry to lead this train back up to the podium. Lowry going to defend the inside. He has no idea where he's going. Shadow's going to pick a spot.
Oh,
and there's a spun Sauber.
Sauber.
Stop. Why? If you spin, do not press the gas. Hold the brake. Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. Because not only did you... He tried to get out of the way for Lowry, but not only did he get in Lowry's way, he then hit another car. Then if you spin, please just hold the brakes or just let your car coast. Do not drive back onto the track some way. If you spin in the middle of the track, just hold your brakes. People will avoid you, and if they don't, that's not your fault. But don't drive back into people trying to get out of the way of another person when 2 people are side by side.
Yeah,
because I think he hit both of them.
Yeah, I think he also hit Fnatic. I think. He hit Fnatic, Shadow, and Jay Lowry, all 3 of them.
And Fox.
And Fox, yeah.
So don't press the gas unless you spin and you can drive off track. But don't press the gas, because even though people may be going off track to avoid you, just hold the brakes. Please.
Yeah, you're not Romain Grosjean, are you?
No.
He did that in Spain as well. A couple of years back.
Yeah, and it caused a huge pileup. But back to the action. I think Shadow came a little bit unscathed. I think he got hit in a good part of his car where it didn't give him much damage. He might have underfloor damage. We'll see how that car handles. We have a yellow flag. I have no idea why. But yeah, that kind of shook things up. Newbie, as I said, this race is going to be about how you can keep calm, not spin, not take track limits, and there's going to be a lot of pressure on you constantly, and he's already made 2 huge mistakes that have dropped him from pole all the way down to 16th.
And that in just 10 laps.
Just 10 laps, yeah. There's people who have JBTC looks to be calm. The moment himself is living in the moment pretty well. But yeah, Bouncy and Golden Drift have also had a great battle constantly here, side by side deck into turn 4. They keep swapping, they keep battling, but they're not losing much time to the drivers behind, so they're doing it fine. And is it darkening up for you?
It does look like it's getting a little bit cloudy.
Are we gonna see some rain?
We might. We had some in tier 6. It was absolutely drenching at the start of the race. Which,
I think we had some in tier 5 too.
So are we gonna keep rolling with the rain theme here? Do we have any weather reporters in chat maybe?
I may be able to find some things out. Let me cook here.
Well, JBT Drippin just got a 3-second time penalty, and he dropped off the back of JBTC.
Yeah, and I think he probably went wide, caught. And then, yeah, over some sausage curves, he had a moment, and he's going to bring him right into the jaws of Shadow. I have news that there is no rain projected. It's just a little cloudy. So maybe we don't see rain in every single race. We had no race last week in Spain at all. And through all of the races, I think. So, I think Tier 4 is going to stay dry. No umbrellas needed.
No, as currently we actually only have 1 real battle on track, which is the battle for the lead. But Bouncy does have a 3-second time penalty from track limits on lap 2, mind you.
I know. I kind of hope Golden Drift gets 1-2 to make things ish, because this battle has been so good. I've been watching it a lot, but it's just the known of the 3-second just kills it a bit. But it's been a fantastic battle between these two, racing like there's no penalty, which is what you love to see. Speaking of, Golden Drift going to go. Looks like Bouncy's really coming off the inside. DRS Chicken is going to be played here. Bouncy breaks early. He's going to have DRS. Golden Drift goes deep. Bouncy makes a little bit of contact. I think he was expecting him to go a little deeper, through a little quicker. Yet pitting already lap 11, which is early. Bouncy going to go up the inside. It's going to be a dive and a turn 4. You have a 3-second penalty. Do not take yourself out. Newbie with a 3-second pen. We've already seen quite a few. I don't know if we even have that many in tier 5. We already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 penalties in 3-second, 6 3-second penalties in 12 laps. All right, that's It's definitely something.
I think everybody is just pushing that little bit too hard, and hopefully they'll calm down in a couple of laps, but I doubt it. Because these drivers in Tier 4 are always pushing themselves to the absolute limit. As Bouncy had a little look up the inside of turn 1, but decided to back out of it. Nearly loses the car on the exit of turn 1.
He really likes the inside line. Brakes early for the DRS. Brakes early, gets it, and then lunges again in the braking zone. But he's going to have terrible traction out of turn 3 on the battery. Both of them on the overtake. Is Bouncy going to go down the inside? Is Golden Drift going to cover the inside? No, Golden Drift likes the outside. Bouncy later on the brakes. Golden Drift going to hang it around the outside, have the better traction. Both of them in second gear out of turn 4. Bouncy on the battery. He's going to go round the outside in turn 6. Zach, is he going to do it? He does it. He's going to keep it pinned. Golden Drift almost spins. Golden Drift, he's got a 3-second. You do not need to risk your car in this, as we have a Jim Just Raged who's going to be a little upset with his spin. And it's annoying. He's got a bunch of cars who are just like 2-3 seconds behind each other. He can't spin back on track. He's going to lose a bunch more positions than he probably would have hoped to. He's going to spin on track. Should be fine and out of the way. This Red Bull's going to fly right past him. Fnatic on fresh hards, which is going to be tough watch for him. Bouncy gets another 3. Okay. Bouncy's on track for 12 seconds of time penalties. Not even halfway through not even close to halfway through the race. He's got two track limit penalties. Golden Drift probably just doesn't even have to overtake. He can just chill the whole time.
Yeah, he can just chill behind and get the win that way. As JTB dripping after making his pit stop. Looks to the inside of Yoga here, but thinks better of it. Tries to get that DRS to make them move down to turn 3 or possibly even turn 4. As he still sits behind here at turn 3. Playing the smart game and
exit.
Get an amazing exit indeed, with of course those fresher tires, more grip, more traction, making use of it and getting past before the braking zone of turn 4, up into 9th place. But if he can get through this traffic fast enough, he might be able to get himself on the back of Drift and Bouncy.
The undercut's going to be huge, but the tire delta that Drift and Bouncy are building up right now is going to help them later on in this race. They're going to be on much fresher hards, and they're going to be probably quicker towards the end of the race. But let's see the tire delta that can be built and how far of an undercut it really is. I don't know how good or bad the undercut is here, but a lot of traffic is not going to help him. It's going to slow him down. He's got 2 teammates next to each other who might make it a bit difficult for JT to make his way through the field.
Angry Shadow is now within DRS range of JBTC.
Yeah, he's been flying in clear air. Yeah, Shadow's still not out of equation for the win here, even though JBTC's pitting this lap. So did Bouncy. The Alpines are double stacking. I don't think the Alpines are... Yeah, wow. Alpines are double stacking on lap 16 is something I never thought I would have to say.
Not on the green flag running, no.
No. Yeah, JBTC...
If it was a safety car, it would have made a little bit more sense, but JBTC is just gonna lose so much time now.
Yeah, that was interesting. Is JBTC gonna come out in front of JTB and Mr. Pete? No, but I think they're gonna have great runs. They're gonna be both up to speed now, around the same kilometers per hour. JB, he's got to defend the inside here, I think. Nope, he defends the outside and doesn't get DRS, but he's gonna have a great launch. He gets a great exit, but so does JTB driven. JT is gonna have DRS, but he's got no battery. JTC knows he has to keep track of this. He's got the tire advantage of about 4 and a bit laps. He's going to switch back. The tire's going to be cold. They're not going to have their best grip or traction. No, JTB is going to have the place. Both Shadow and Golden Drift pit here. Shadow closing in 2.4 seconds, the gap between the 2 front runners. Bouncy's going to have a huge undercut. He came on to a great clean air, but I don't even think he's a contender for the win anymore with that 6-second time penalty.
Yeah, but that was a very great dive from JTB Drippin down in the turn 4. Really committed. Sets the fastest lap of the race as well. And he might have a shot at Angry Shadow and Golden Drift as they come out of the pits. Although, no, he's a little bit too far back for that. As JBTC comes back at him with DRS and some battery perhaps as well. To fly past him into turn 3. Can JBT Drippin get a good exit and get back past before turn 4? He's trying to go for the inside. He's just a little bit far back, but he dives it in again. Manages to make it stick. And JBTC is just stuck looking at that rear wing of that Kicksauber.
Stuck behind, but they did pretty well there trading DRS. You would have liked to see them, you know, for their own races battle a little less. You yellow flag up at turn 3. But closing in on Shadow is going to be their new goal. Shadow and Golden Drift on the freshest tires on the grid. And yeah, they gotta catch Bouncy. Golden Drift has clean air. He's got plenty of pace, better tires than Bouncy. But you know, Bouncy's got 6 seconds, so it's really the battle between Shadow. Gets a 3 now. Never mind. It was the battle between Golden Drift and Shadow. Shadow gets a 3-second time penalty. So yeah, now all Golden Drift has to do is keep it clean.
As Jim gets a 10-second penalty for speeding in a pit lane, JBTC tries to throw it up the inside of JTB Drippin. That doesn't really quite work out, but he gets the run down in the turn 4. And JBT Drippin, it's real tongue twister, these two next to each other. I can't. But JTB Drippin keeps it on the inside, manages to stay ahead. And JBTC is just stuck for another lap. Cypher gets a 3-second time penalty as well there. These 3-second time penalties for track limits are just getting handed out like it's nothing. Everybody wants a piece of them.
I mean, got 9 people on the grid with 3-second time penalties. Almost half the grid has a time penalty from track limits. Which is absolutely unreal. JBTC and JTB3 are battling, and can they stop battling? I really cannot say their names side by side. It's so difficult. But that's probably the closest battle besides for Fox, Fnatic, and Pete all in a train. Can Fox drag them back up maybe to the top 5? Get within the 3-second of JTB and maybe past JBTC. I hate that. I actually hate that.
Yeah, it's so bad. But we need to move one of them a tier up or down just so we don't have to deal with that anymore.
It's actually terrible. And then why are they so close? That's the other thing. We constantly have to say them back to back because they're battling. I can't do it.
And it's literally the only battle we have on track as well.
Yeah, it's the only that's been so good too. We have to keep mentioning it as JBTC passes JTB on the outside of turn 3. And JTB is gonna dive it up the inside of JBT. Oh my god. Alpine is getting dove up the inside of my Kicksauber. And then Kicksauber has DRS down to turn 4, not gonna be close enough for a dive.
That's actually really smart. Just the team names. That's what we're gonna do from now on.
The Alpine is clear. Can he extend his legs with the fresher tires? Probably not, because it's impossible to break DRS here.
Unless the driver behind makes a mistake.
Pretty much. Or you just have that big of a pace delta. Getting these two calm down for a lap so we don't have to mention them. It doesn't look...
It doesn't look like it.
Nope. Although JTB did not have a good of the corner as JBTC, so I think we'll be calm for one lap.
Or at least a corner.
At least a straight, yeah.
Who else is close? Oh,
Fnatic behind Fox. Yep, not anymore.
Looks like Fox just really gifted that position to Fnatic.
And he might have. He maybe wanted the DRS down into turn 4. Fnatic's going to get a good exit, though. He's not going to have to run down to turn 4. He's on, both him and Fnatic are on old hard tires. Are they going to go to the end? As we have a moment between Pete and Drunken Shamrock. They're both off the track, making contact. No safety car. They're both getting... Yeah, this is interesting. That is not the racing line. Is John Does Work going to take advantage of this upbeat inside?
What is Shamrock doing?
Yeah,
questionable line into turn 3, to say the least.
Yeah, I don't think that's where you're supposed to go.
You're supposed to stay on the track.
Yeah, they paved a road, like, use it. If Bounty didn't get that second 3-second time penalty, he would still be in contention for this win. Because he's building the gap. I guess he didn't like the... the marker boards. Maybe he doesn't like someone who's doing no assists. As the kick Sauber passes the Alpine again. The Alpine passes the kick passes the Alpine down to turn 6. The kick stays ahead. Excuse me. Yeah, like Bounty has dropped Golden Drift. There's the 3-second advantage, but he has 6 seconds of penalties now, which is it's just killing him in his race. And JBTC, or the Alpine up the inside of the kick into turn 1, which is a mistake because the kick's going to get DRS, and it's up to turn 3. They're going to be side by side. Kick's going to hang around the outside. Not really room there because there never is. It's not a side by side corner. The kick's going to get the run up to turn 3. Up the hill, down the inside. And she make the apex. He misses the apex a bit. JPTC is going to have the run on him through turn 4. He's going to be in the slipstream on the battery. DRS open. He's going to fly right by him. Give him the peace sign as you go by. Wave by. Up the inside of the braking of turn 4. JTB going to hang around the outside. They're going to be side by side again. I feel like we've seen this 80 times. We've seen this for the last 10 laps. These two side by side. And it's been great. It's been brilliant. They're going to be side by side through turn 6. Through turn 7. Doesn't really get the space, but they both have moments. They both slide, pushing those rear tires through the fast left-hander of turn 7. They went through turn 8, down to turn 9, flat out corner, little break at the final corner. Both, oh my God, JTB3 dripping is pushing those tires to the very limit. Those rear tires are screaming out for pain. Yeah, what a save. But he stayed in DRS. He's going to have DRS through this whole lap. He goes deep. Those tires are probably hot. Oh my God. Whew. No, Fox. No. Fox had a spin on the exit of turn 1. Oh, Tesla got an illegal overtake. Oh, I feel that's terrible.
That is so unlucky. As the kick has managed to stay within DRS of the Alpine. Even after that huge moment out of the final corner.
Yeah, I'm surprised he held that. That was a huge moment out of the final corner, which is a tough corner to really make a save on, but he did, and then he kept it within DRS. He didn't even lose a second of time to the Alpine ahead of him, as we have another 3-second penalty. Make that 10 on the grid now. Half the grid is a 3-second time penalty. Jim does not have a 3-second time penalty. He's a 10-second time penalty, so we don't count that. No Coke. It's just regular Coke, but it's like an Avengers thing. But I need something to drink. I do have Sprite too. And water. Anyway. Oh, lap cars. Thanks, Chazzy. It is a really nice Coke. Miller Lite. Not yet. Yes, can we stop? Focus on the race. Focus on the race. Stop distracting me. The kick is still staying with the Alpine, even though... Oh, was the kick pitting? The kick is pitting. The kick is pitting. Thank the Lord. They are no longer next to each other.
Yes! Angry Shadow is gonna be making a move on Golden Drift.
Bro just decided to start going fast. Okay, that happened. Angry Shadow, I think he did just put in the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. And then he's going to have DRS on a turn 4. He thinks he can build this gap. Kick the can. No. We're going to kick the camera to Angry Shadow and Golden Drift. Shadow, I think Shadow does have the pace to, when he gets ahead, if he can drop DRS. This is important for him. He's got to get this move done into turn 3, still have the DRS for that straight down to turn 4, and then build up that gap. He's got to play this really tactically to try and break DRS from Golden Drift and to then move on to Bouncy. Build a 3-second gap from Drift. He's got 10 seconds to build 10 laps to build 3 seconds. So let's see if he can do it. If he has the pace in the locker, he's got plenty of battery, and so does Golden Drift.
Yeah, and
Shadow's still not out of equation for this win.
Yeah, I was just about to say, if Shadow is able to get that 3 seconds on Golden Drift, he almost certainly has got within 3 seconds of Bouncy, which is the only thing he needs as he goes around the outside of Golden Drift, who doesn't really put up much of a fight.
Nope, but Golden Drift not putting up a fight. Has a moment on the exit of turn 3, decides to go cut some grass to help maybe the marshals and the groundskeepers. And that already breaks. That does half of Shadow's job. Shadow does not have to push so hard through this middle sector. That 1 second is broken in a matter of a corner and a bit of a straight. So he is looking good for this win. Golden Drift dropped off. He's still in the net race lead right now with 3-second time penalties. But Shadow is quick. Shadow has the pace. Can Golden Drift keep calm under the pressure of building and keeping this gap low and under 3 seconds? And can Shadow keep putting in fastest lap and big fast laps? It's a huge moment through turn 9. I think you just clicked off of it. Wow. And then I think, no, that's not Bouncy, but that was a blue car that was ahead that spun in turn 1. It is Jim Just Raged. But yeah, this race kind of got turned. Did Golden Drift got DRS? He got DRS, so he had a huge third sector to get DRS. Shadow, maybe with that snap, really unlucky, but he's going to catch some lap cars here. Will they give him DRS? Will they impede him? How is that going to go? Shadow is gaining quite a bit on Bouncy. He has caught Bouncy's 6-second penalty, so now he is in the 3-second gap. He's in a net P2. Golden Drift still in the net race lead. We're gonna have. I think it's gonna come down to the last couple laps. You can pretty much count Bouncy out of this. It's gonna be between Shadow and Golden Drift. JBTC is too far behind. No one's near him. It's a great drive from JBTC to keep calm under pressure. And yeah, although JTB Driven is gonna be quick, he's gonna be really quick on fresh mediums, which I don't know why he pit, but he did. So yeah, 2-stop for him. Golden Drift again staying in DRS of Angry Shadow. Angry Shadow not able to break that gap. Going to be charging up a bit of battery. Shadow pushed really hard on battery for those last couple laps. Don't have many other battles going on. Talk about Kamau, who's done 26 laps on the same set of tires. Why?
Because why not?
Fair enough.
I mean,
he's in P11.
He's done 26 laps and he's on the same set of tires and he's not even in the points. That is pain. So many laps, just getting ahead of so many people on the pit stops, but still not enough for points. He's
in a net points position right now, but it's gonna be gone. There it is, it's gone. Yellow flag of the Haas in last cipher. Who's going to get lapped by? I think it's Knight. Nope. Lapped by Pete.
Oh, Golden Drift gets a 3-second time penalty.
All you had to do was not get a 3-second time penalty. Okay, races back. Can Shadow, after he maybe might win Tier 5, we shall see. It's going to be a lot of stewards work going on. Can he win Tier 4? This pressure is going to be now that the pressure that was already on Golden Drift is going to be beating at him now. Has Golden Drift got what it takes to, win this race? Is he going to become the new championship leader? Is it going to be Shadow, a reserve who comes in and wins his first race in Tier 4 in a bit? I think he won
Jay
one
Lowry's
last year.
backwards on the main straight.
What is happening? Did he break his whole front wing?
He did break his front wing, yes, but how did he get there? Spun backwards.
Yeah, no safety car. He must have just had a really long spin that just took forever. But newbie. After
such an amazing qualifying,
yeah,
has really fumbled the bag here in the race. But back onto this battle for the lead now, because Golden Drift now really needs to get on with it if he wants to have a chance at winning the race. He needs to get ahead of Shadow now. And
have to be within Bouncy's 3 second too.
Which they quite easily are at the moment, but not if they start battling too much.
Yeah, there's so much going on here with the time penalties. Bouncy's going to be kicking himself for taking 6 here, because if he just took 3, he'd be well into the lead. Golden Drift going to take the ERS, the DRS. He's going to pass Shadow into turn 4. Shadow going to try late on the brakes. To no avail. Bouncy's just chilling right now. Golden Drift now going to charge up the battery. It's 2.4 now to Bouncy in the Alpine. 2.5 just about. 2.5. So these two got to be smart, be clean, be quick at the same time. Yeah, down the field, JTB is now catching BTC on the fresh medium tires. 7 seconds back plus a time penalty. Yeah, and then can we clap it up to those who don't have time penalties, because there are 13 people on this grid with 3-second time penalties or more, which is unreal. So we just have, and one of them DNF, so 13 of 19. And Shadow going back up the inside for the race win. Golden Drift braking super late. These two are battling quite a lot, quite a bit. And I don't know if they're gonna keep within that 3 second of Bouncy. It's gonna be nope. Shadow stays ahead for that. Bouncy in the hot lap mode, and we have a Aston Martin off. Another Jay Lowry. So MRK is gonna have some points. Actually, after we just clowned him, if his tires don't puncture,
which they very well could do.
They definitely could. I don't know how fast he's been driving. I don't know how much he's been managing them. It's the hards in F124. They could probably last for 100 laps.
Golden Drift got really close to the inside wall there of the pit exit, or pit entry at the last corner. Really trying to push to stay within, to get within a chance of passing Angry Shadow again. He's 8/10 behind, has lost quite a bit of time into turn 1 and that last corner.
And it's 2.5 off the back of Bouncy.
Yeah, Bouncy doesn't have that much pace, it looks like. Only 1 lap older in tires, as there's a little bit of a kerfuffle going on at turn 1, I believe.
Yeah, when did so many cars get that close? Because half of them have to be lapped, right? Yeah. Half of those cars are lapped. I was like, how did all those cars get that close? But yeah, no. Some lap cars, some lap traffic. Fox still on the back of Testarossa. 2 people who don't have time penalties. Which is kind of nice to see.
A battle for position without penalties. I thought we'd never see it here in Tier 4.
I thought we'd never see it. It's a thing. I didn't know it was. The gap for P1, it is 2.6 seconds. Shadow is 2.5 now, behind 2.4. Bouncy did not have a great turn 1. Someone retired in the pits. Okay, safety cars are done. We're not going to have any. 2.3 seconds for Shadow in the lead, or behind Bouncy. He's in the net race lead. Bouncy has 6 seconds compared to Shadow's 3, as you guys can see. 2.1 for Shadow. Golden Drift, 0.5 behind. Can Shadow win a race in Tier 4 after he's already won 1 in Tier 5 and finished, crossed the line first in Tier 5 earlier today? Due to some steward reports, we're not going to say he won or he didn't win. That will come out later sometime. Shadow to 1.9 now behind Bouncy. Is he going to do this on track? He knows how important DRS is. He knows how strong it is. He felt it early. He had a whole race right before this one. Is he going to claw back? Bouncy's going to be is low on fuel. That's another thing. Bouncy's going to be low on fuel. How far could he drop? Can he go into low fuel mode? It's going to be tight. He's got to lift and coast. He's got to get to the end of the fuel. End of the race with fuel in his car.
Yeah, he lost about a second last lap. So the win is definitely out of the cards for him. But there is a 19-second gap back to JBTC in 4th. So he's got a podium if he can get to the end of the race.
Yep, Golden Drift right on the back of Angry Shadow. Went a little bit deep on the brakes. Had a bad exit out of turn 3 because of that. If Shadow continues at this pace, if Shadow goes into hot lap mode, maybe he can catch Bouncy and get DRS and protect himself from Golden Drift. He's fighting for the win here. Golden Drift is in his DRS. If he gets DRS, it is going to be tough. Is that another person got a 3, or did he already have 3? He already had 3. Okay. Yeah, look how close Drift is. He's right behind Shadow. They're on the same lap to H tires. It's going to be tight. It's going to be so tight. Shadow needs DRS. He needs DRS. He has to have this, help somewhere. Gold Drift 5/10 behind. It's got to be a magical couple corners from Shadow here. Great final corner from Shadow. Golden Drift did not have a good final corner. On the overtake, on the battery. He's going to close up into turn 1. Up the hill, just a little uphill braking. Does he nail turn 1? Yes, he has a great exit out of turn 1. On the battery again. Shadow on the battery. Is Shadow going to get DRS from maybe this lap car? Maybe bouncing? No. Golden Drift not really making the inroads. Shadow's going to get DRS. Shadow gets DRS down to turn 4. It's going to eliminate Bouncy or Golden Drift's chance of catching him down to turn 4. Shadow maybe didn't get DRS. Golden Drift on the back, 4/10 behind. He's not close enough. He had a big snap out of the final corner. It's not going to do it for him. Shadow just has to keep things clean here. Bouncy's going to have 6 seconds at the end of the race. I'm not sure if he's going to get any of them removed.
I doubt he will.
Unlikely seeing how fast he got them, but he's struggling. Is he out of fuel? Is that the real thing? He's got 0.2 of a lap left. Is he going to make it to the line? I think he might get into low fuel mode. To the line. Bouncy's going to cross the line first. No, he doesn't. He ran out. Did he? Did he get past the line?
I think Angry Shadow got past just before the line. It doesn't matter anyway because Bouncy has 6 seconds. But
yeah,
he still is able to get a podium, and JBTC also fell off a lot in those last couple of laps, even with Bouncy struggling so much, because he's still 24 seconds behind. That turns into 18 with the penalties.
Yeah, great race from JBTC. No penalties, no anything. Yeah, good for him.
Fox and Testarossa both climbing a position because they did not have time 10 penalties.
Nope. And then MRK is actually going to finish the race in the points after 34 laps on the same tire, which is outrageous. 35 laps. So he pit lap 2, I think, or lap 1, whatever it was. Outrageous. Newbie from pole is going to, I think, be our last finisher. Taking the fastest lap. Whew. That was a pretty good race.
That was a really good race.
And then I think we'll have a new championship leader. Where JTB finished P5. Yeah, so we're going to have a new championship leader. No, we're not. Never mind. He's going to be tied with J-Joe. How's he going to do it? No. Shadow's also going to be tied for the championship lead, I think. Because yeah. Did Golden Drift not race last week? Is that it? He finished P10 last week, so yeah, he's only going to have 19 points. So yeah, we're going to have a 3-way tie for the Tier 4 championship. With the tire wear badge today.
Hey, so we have Angry Shadow coming across the line in first, Golden Drift in second, and Bouncy on the last step of the podium with JBTC in 4th. Great from the Alpines. They finished 3rd and 4th in qualifying, 3rd and 4th in the race, just the other way around. JPTB Drippen in 5th, Testarossa in 6th, Fox in 8th, in 7th, Fnatic in 8th, Knight in 9th, and MRK running out the top 10 with an amazing stint on those hards to claim a singular point. But how good must that point feel for him? Pete in 11th, Newbie in 12th after having an absolute horrible first 10 laps. John does work in 13th and Jim just raced in 14th. And the rest doesn't really matter because they don't get points. But wow, what an amazing race. Let's get back into here. There we go. And if you could call the drivers in for the interviews.
Indeed, see who wants to join us. Oh, he's not even in this chat. I was like, where is Shadow? But he's not even in this chat. That's funny. Let me talk to Shadow. Okay, the other guy's house. We had Bouncy and Golden Drift.
Okay, we have Shadow ready. Are you ready to take it?
We're gonna have Bouncy and we're gonna have all three. So do you want to do Shadow first, or do you want to do Golden or Bouncy first?
Let's do Bouncy first, because he had those double track limits. I'm gonna let you take it because I am quite tired and I need to go to bed really soon, and my mind is fried. So
Fair enough. Yeah, I can. What the hell? Let's get Mr. Bouncy Castle in here. Hello, Kiers.
Yes, I can.
Bouncy.
Hi.
There you are. Kiers.
Hi, how are you guys?
I am doing pretty good after that race. That was a amazing race to watch. Oh, I need to switch scenes, of course. Oh, this is
Your
not
mic
gonna
on?
work.
Mic working, Bouncy?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, cool. So P3 today probably stings a little bit after, you know, crossing the line. I think was in first. If not, it was super close with Shadow. But I mean, you seem to have a great pace. Kind of just, how did your race go? How did you feel about it? Anything you wish you could have done better?
I think it was a great race overall, but I got double warnings twice in the last corner. Once on lap 2, which I knew sealed my fate, and I underfueled a little bit, which sucked, but I'm okay with a P3.
Yeah. Qualified. I think you were the P4. You were the one behind. Did you have the pace for pole? Did you mess up, or did you think that the top 2, 3, 4 where you could have been today?
I think I might have had pace for pole. I used my ERS too much in the first sector, and I got a little bit slippery, which Dutchy saw in the last corner, which ruined my lap.
Yeah, and then the race pace was great. You as you really pulled ahead. I think you probably might have been the fastest on track there. You avoided the incidents. You and Golden Thrift had a great battle, even with you having 3 or 6 second penalties. I think we're at Silverstone next week. You feeling like you could keep up that same pace, the same form at Silverstone, or is it one of your better tracks? Like, how are you looking forward next week?
I've had a bit of a bad history with Silverstone. I murdered Midnight in season 10, and it's just not been a good track for me. But I have pretty good pace around there.
All right. Well, we're looking to see you, back up the top of tier 4. I definitely am. Being Alpine, but you had a great race today. A little unfortunate. I don't think Silverstone's as bad with the track limit penalties, so maybe you can have a little bit better luck there. But yeah, you had a great race. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
See you next week.
Okay.
Golden Drift P2 man. Hello. Can you hear us?
Hello.
Congratulations on P2. Probably stings a little bit. I mean, you and Bounty had a great battle for most of the first part of the race. You didn't have that 3 second. Then you and Shadow had a great battle, and then you unfortunately took that 3 second time pen. Gonna talk us through your race. How do you feel about it?
For me, it was honestly unexpected because I really didn't practice much this week, especially after last weekend. I really wasn't anywhere where I wanted to be. I just tried sticking with, Bouncy and Angry, and it just cost me a few mistakes. Especially around that fast right-hander. I just started sliding and just caught a few warnings, which cost me at the end. But after last weekend, I'll definitely take this result.
I mean, I wasn't expecting the pace. You had fantastic pace today, even though you didn't practice. I mean, I've had races like that where you don't practice and then you get so close to the win, you're like, oh, only I practiced a little bit. But I think you had a great race. You were super clean throughout the race. You took your penalty really late onto the race, which probably hurt you even more. But you gotta take the positives. And yeah, I mean, you had some fantastic battles. Anyone you really want to highlight? With Bouncy, with Shadow.
Since the last game, Angry's pace has gotten so much better since the last time I was consistently racing him in the same tier. I just don't even know.
It's kind of
I
unreal,
can't even do that.
Yeah. He's unreal. But Silverstone next week. You think you'll still have that same sort of natural pace without practice, or you're gonna be back to practicing a little bit more, or how are you feeling about Silverstone?
The new Silverstone, I haven't really driven much on yet, but I guess we'll see.
All right. Well, congratulations again today. I know P2 probably is more aggravating than it is, rewarding at the moment. I think you'll be up in the top 5 of the championship standings. So congratulations for that, and good luck in the future.
Thank you.
Now our race winner, Mr. Shadow. Hello.
Hello. Do you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you now. Hello. Mr. Angry Shadow. Congratulations on the win. Probably a
Thank
little
you.
better of a race than it was for you in Tier 5.
Definitely.
Yeah, just kind of talk us through the race a little bit. You took a pretty early penalty, kind of let us know how that changed your strategy, and then how you kind of kept your pace up, kept that motivation up.
Well, first in the quali, didn't have a good quality. I lost 4 tenths in the 2 last turns because I lost the car. So I started like P5. So my strategy was just wait for chaos and go after that, But in lap 1 or 2, I don't remember, my game crashed. Literally just crashed. And then when I got in the game again, I was like P9 and had to just to recover. So I was just trying to do consistent laps, and that's why I got 3 seconds very early. Like I was trying to push to get in the front as soon as possible.
Did you pick up any? Did you pick up any damage from that incident with I think it was Jay Lowry after he spun, or no, it was Newbie, not Jay Lowry. Jay Lowry also no damage.
No.
Yeah,
I mean, the guy was literally in the middle of the turn, and I was going in the inside, and he just he pressed the gas, and he almost took me out. But yeah, I didn't get damage fortunately.
Yeah, and then further in your race, you were, pushing. You were with it. You were with Golden Drift. You guys were battling, but he didn't have that 3 second time penalty. But when he took it, how did that kind of change? How did a flip switch in your head where you're like, I can win this race now instead of settling for P2, or how'd your race kind of change from there?
Yeah, it changed a lot because I took 2 more warnings after I overtook Drift, I think, or even before. I don't remember, to be honest. But I had 2 warnings. So when I overtook him, I was like, okay, I can get another one because he might get one and I'm gonna be lost. So when he got the 3 seconds, that was okay. I can chill now because I was trying to break DRS to try to gap a bit like up, But after that, I just relaxed, and if he wanted to overtake me, I was gonna let him overtake me, and I was just saving ERS and doing the strat I was planning to use.
Again, Silverstone next week. I don't know if you're going to be reserving. I'm guessing you don't know if you're going to be reserving, but
I don't know.
How do you feel for Tier 5? How do you feel around Silverstone?
I think Silverstone is one of my worst tracks. I think it's one of the tracks I hate the most. So yeah, I'm just gonna practice and see what I can get there.
All right. Well, congratulations again.
Thank you.
I think that's it from Tier 4. Excuse me. Yeah. Congratulations to Shadow. Now it's probably the first person to win a race in 2 different tiers this season. So yeah, I mean that's probably a weird stat for you, but congratulations again. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Either me, you, Dutchy.
Yes, there we go. That has been Tier 4 here in MRL. Don't forget to join Tier 3 as that is going live right now, or it should already be live, I think.
Yes. Yep.
It should
live.
be. As you've heard, next week we have Silverstone, just like the real life Grand Prix. That is going to be absolute chaos as well, because lots of overtaking opportunities there as well. Yeah, it's been great fun today. Thank you so much for joining me. And any last words before we hop out?
This week, check out Tier 3. Gonna be a good race down there. Tier 2, Tier 1. Yeah. See you next week.
And